Hi guys, welcome to Protein Treats. Today we are making pumpkin pie. Who doesn't love pumpkin pie? You have to have pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, for Christmas. It is such a yummy dish and it's so easy to make high in protein with no sugar. So I'm going to show you today 2 ways to make your pumpkin pie. One is going to use our protein pie crust, and you can check the recipe down below, the link down below to get that pie crust recipe. And the other, I'm going to show you making it crustless, so with no crust at all. And we're going to do both ways today. You're going to love it. It tastes amazing. I make this pumpkin pie all the time for my family. I often bring it when I go to other people's houses, and they never know that it's sugar-free and it's packed with protein. So you're going to love it. Let's get started. So you're going to need 3 eggs, 3 whole eggs. You're going to need half a cup of vanilla whey protein. We've used our Nutracelle. You're going to need half a cup of brown sugar substitute. Now I've used equal brown sugar substitute. There is a Splenda on the market, but watch it because it has quite a few calories in it. They actually mix it with real brown sugar, so that's why I don't use the Splenda one. Then I've got a quarter cup, of stevia, of baking stevia. And then I have 1 cup of cottage cheese, and I have 2 cups of pumpkin puree. And then I'll mention it as I'm putting them in as well, but we have half a tablespoon of cinnamon. I have 1 tablespoon of ground ginger. I have half a tablespoon of nutmeg, and I have about 1/8 of a tablespoon of cloves. And you can go ahead and just use, you know, the pre-mixed spices for pumpkin pie if you want, but I like to mix my own. So that's all you need to get started. Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna blend out all the little cheese curds in our cottage cheese. So when we mix our cottage cheese, we wanna put it in a separate bowl and then get it all in there with our eggs so there's enough liquid. You could either use a Vitamix for something like this, like use a blender and blend it together. I'm gonna use a little hand blender, as you're gonna see, and we're gonna blend it till it's really smooth and creamy, and then we're gonna add it and use our blender like you would a traditional pumpkin pie. So we're gonna use our hand blender, and make sure you get it nice and immersed before you turn it on. You don't wanna spray yourself. And then you're gonna blend it, you're gonna move all the eggs around, you're gonna move the cottage cheese around, you're gonna get it really nice and blended. Okay, so now that we have it blended, we have it beautifully smooth with our eggs and with our cottage cheese. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put it in our stand-up mixer, and we're gonna add our pumpkin to it. And while that's mixing, we're going to go ahead and we're going to mix up all our dry ingredients. Perfectly smooth. Okay, so we have our pumpkin and we have our cottage cheese and egg mixture, and we're just going to go ahead and start on level 1. Until it gets nice and mixed, and then you can move it up to more medium. So you can see while that's mixing, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do our dry ingredients. So we've got our vanilla protein powder, we've got our brown sugar substitute, we have our stevia, and then now we're gonna mix all of our spices in. And we wanna get those mixed really nice. It smells so good. It smells like Thanksgiving in this kitchen. So when you mix it up, you want it to look beautiful. You want it to be the same color, that almost a mocha color all the way through, and no little areas where you've got, you know, more of the cinnamon, or you don't have things mixed through. So it's really, really important that you get it mixed well before you go and put it in with your pumpkin pie base. Okay, so you're gonna add your dry ingredients a little bit at a time. So I would do about 1/4 of what you have in the bowl, and then mix it up, and then add another 1/4 and mix it up. So just like that. You don't wanna dump it all in. You want it to be able to mix really nicely. And then scrape the sides and add a little bit more in. There we go. And when you're mixing in dry ingredients in with your wet ingredients, you want to start on low and then turn it up a little bit. That way you're not going to get powder or it's obviously not flour, but you don't want to get the protein powder and you don't want to get that stuff all over you. Okay, you guys, so we have all of our mix already beautifully blended and we're ready to go ahead and pour it into our pie pans. Now remember, this recipe is enough to make 2, not deep dish, just 2 regular dish pumpkin pie. So I've got a crustless here that I've pre-sprayed with a little bit of coconut oil. And then of course I have our amazing pie crust, our protein pie crust. You can get the recipe down below. And I'm so excited for you guys to try this recipe. It smells amazing in here and we haven't even put them in the oven yet. So let's get them poured in so you can get a sense of what it looks like. And I'm going to show you my little trick for making sure that the edges of your pie crust don't get too dark when you're baking something like a pumpkin pie in them. So I'm pretty excited. You're going to love this. So sometimes what I do when I know that I have that I'm making 2 pies out of a batter is I take my spatula and I just kind of run a line down the middle. It changes a little bit, but it gives you a sense of how much you're pouring in so that you have an equal amount in each pie. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with our crustless and I'm just going to scoop that in just like this. Got about half in there now. And then you're just going to smooth it out just like you would any other pie. Pretend there's a crust under there. Now, when this cooks up, it's going to cook up nice and firm. So you're going to be able to cut it into slices exactly like you would a pumpkin pie that has a crust. But obviously you're not going to have a crust. It tastes super amazing, super high in protein, super high in fiber, really low in carbohydrates, and obviously pretty much sugar-free because there's very little sugar in pumpkin. Okay, now we're going to pour it into our pumpkin pie shell that we've made with our protein pie shell recipe. And same thing, we're just going to get it all nice and centered in the middle. Don't worry, this is a little bit thicker than a normal pumpkin pie recipe, but that's okay. We're making protein pumpkin pie, remember? So we're going to go ahead, smooth that all out. Make sure that you don't get it up on the sides because you don't want it to get burny. So you want to be pretty careful and get it nice and smooth so that it looks really pretty when it comes out of the oven. Okay, you guys, we have our batter all in. Here is our one in the pie shell. Here is our one that's crustless with no pie shell. Now I'm going to show you my little hack for making sure that the edges of your pie crust turn out beautiful when your pumpkin pie is cooked. So I'm going to use my little chef's secret here, which is just plain old aluminum foil. And we're going to go ahead and tap it down right over the edge of your pie crust like that. So the easiest way to do this to get that circular look is just to fold it over a little bit. So if it's flat like this, you just kind of take it and you fold it, take it and fold it, and then that'll give it a little circular shape as you go around your pie. You don't have to press hard, just press gently so that it kind of sits on top, nice and gently, just like that. If you're super fancy, I know you can buy the little pie crust protectors, but I don't bother. This is what I do. And I just thought I would show you. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put both of these in the oven at 450 degrees for only 10 minutes. Then we're going to turn the temperature down to 350 degrees and we're going to go ahead for 25 to 30 minutes. And once you put a knife in it and pull it out and the knife comes out clean, you know your pumpkin pie is perfectly done. So can't wait to show you guys how these turn out. All right, you guys, both our pumpkin pies are out of the oven. It smells so good in this kitchen. It is insane. It smells so yummy. Check this out. Look how unbelievably gorgeous this pie is. Can you believe this is a protein pie? We have protein pumpkin, protein crust, and then here's our crustless one. Not quite as pretty, but still it's gonna taste awesome. So I don't know about you guys, but I really need to try a slice. It smells so yummy. I can't wait to cut a piece out and actually have a little bite. So I'll just do a little sleever size bite here. All right, guys, let's try a bite of this. Oh, it tastes so good. It smells so good. This is so good. This is so good. I don't even want to, you know what? Comment below, make your own. Let me know how it turned out. I would love to hear your feedback. This is so delicious. I can't wait for the cameras to turn off just so I can finish eating it. You're gonna love it on proteintreats.com. You can also find us, of course, on our YouTube channel and inside your patient account. I would love to hear what you guys have done with your own pumpkin pie. But I'm telling you right now, what's gonna happen to mine is gonna get devoured at supper time tonight by my family. Thanks, guys.